Emma Vigling with TYT Politics, reporting to you live on the Sunday, WikiLeaks. I'm on the WikiLeaks beat, as always, and I have some smoking guns for you. I'm in a little bit of a jolly mood, not just because the Eagles are, losing a little bit to the Giants and Carson Wentz just threw kind of like two ridiculously horrible picks. That was kind of fun for me, so go Giants. But I had to, leave the game at the door, leave the Giants at the door, which is hard for me. Jordan knows I'm kind of a freak. And talk to you guys about the WikiLeaks. So, I think this is a smoking gun. For me, I as someone who cares, if you guys care about campaign finance law, which I do, you're gonna find this insane. So, here we go. Urgent email basically, throughout the Hillary Clinton campaign, meaning they sent it to a bunch of people within the campaign saying, don't talk to the press. Don't talk to them. About this story about her Hillary Clinton coordinating and meeting with Priorities USA, which is a super PAC. So bear with me, guys. FYI, the New York Times will soon report that HRC is doing meetings for Priorities USA. We have not confirmed the meeting and will not be confirming these type of meetings. Probably because it's against FEC regulations. We are, however, reflecting on how we will support Priorities USA work where needed and framed this up. If you get press questions as follow-ups on this, please send them to me. Then Jennifer Palmieri responds and says, so afraid that the New York Times is going to go with this story on priorities, whether we like it or not. They have sources about the meetings. Honestly, it sounds like Priorities staff was yapping. I know, those pesky whistleblowers who are actually, telling the press or expressing that you guys are doing something illegal. We are not confirming meetings on this trip, but commenting on why we are participating with Priorities. So, what it seems like is that, at the very least, Hillary Clinton's staff was meeting with Priorities USA, the campaign. At the most, which it's not exactly clear from this email, but it seems that Hillary Clinton herself, HRC, was meeting with Priorities USA, which is a super PAC. That is insane. It is against the very thin outlines from Citizens United that she claims to be against. Citizens United is a joke of a piece of legislation. If you can't even figure out how to not bend the rules on Citizens United, then you have infinite hubris. You think that nothing applies to you. Citizens United says that independent groups that are advocating for you, as long as they have no correlation with and no direct communication with the campaigns, are legal. All they had to do was just let Priorities USA run its pro-Clinton stuff and just take that. But of course, they have to go a step further and break the very thin joke of a line as outlined by Citizens United and coordinate with Priorities. Her campaign and Hillary Clinton will break the law not break the law, I'm sorry, that's too strong, maybe, but not in this case, but not at every turn, but they will bend the rules at every turn. Where there is a rule that can be bent, they will break it. I mean, they will bend it. And maybe they'll break it. They'll bend it so hard that it'll snap and it'll break. So, this is, if the mainstream media doesn't pick up on this, at least after the election, I know they're in election fury right now. Ooh, the election. What's the horse race? What's the polls here? What's the polls there? The Hillary Clinton campaign directly coordinated with the super PAC. But you know why they won't report on it? And I'll tell you it right now. Because they don't see anything wrong with this system. Actually, they'd prefer that candidates could coordinate with super PACs. That they could just be one giant, moneyed slush fund where, our government could be bought. They'd prefer if every candidate could do this because you know why? Mainstream media They profit a lot off this system. They profit off a lot of political ads. Those major companies that own CNN, that own MSNBC, they profit from those ads being placed on their television networks. So they don't really see anything wrong with this system. In fact, they think it could be better for them. And what Hillary Clinton does, negotiating with her super PACs, that lines their pockets. And you know what? If they actually called them out on corruption and illegal behavior, then maybe Hillary Clinton wouldn't come on their programs anymore. It's all about access. It's all about money. And that's why you guys watch The Young Turks. And that's why you watch TYT Politics. Because I don't need Hillary Clinton to come to my home and do a sit-down interview with me. Or Jordan. But that's why we call her out. And that's why the mainstream media doesn't. Moving on. So, here's another one. I think the Daily Caller broke this. It's so insane that now we have to have real journalism from the Daily Caller, which is very conservative, if you guys don't know. So, John Harwood, who works for CNBC, and also he contributes to the New York Times, but this was in his capacity at CNBC. John Harwood asked John Podesta what he should ask Jeb Bush during an interview. What should I ask Jeb is the title of this email. In Speakeasy interview tomorrow is the body. That was on September 21st, 2015. Did John Harwood have an interview with Jeb Bush after that? You bet he did. You bet he did. And the response to this email I was unable to find. Maybe that's coming out later. Maybe we will find John Podesta funneling direct questions to John Harwood. But that's journalistic malpractice. You're taking a tip from the Hillary Clinton campaign to ask an opponent a question. That's when people say you have the liberal bias. Like, that's what people think. But the thing about the mainstream media is they don't have a liberal bias, they have a Hillary Clinton bias. And in their insane, topsy-turvy world, they think, oh, Hillary Clinton's a liberal. Right. Democrats are liberal, Republicans are conservative, la-di-da. Go, bingo. That's how it works. It's not how it works. They have a pro-Clinton bias, as has been seen throughout this campaign. And honestly, even though I think Trump is a maniac, Trump has been getting a disproportionate amount of coverage. And I think he has a case to be made about how little the mainstream media has been focusing on Hillary Clinton's misgivings. I will continue. So, again, John Harwood, in his Speakeasy CNBC interview, asked John Podesta, another campaign, to funnel a question to him. So that's basically doing the work of the campaign for them instead of being journalists. We shall continue. Here's more drams from the Doug Band Chelsea Clinton fiasco. So if you recall, Doug Band was the body man for Bill Clinton. He's heavily steeped in Clintons. Seems like a huge asshole in these emails. He gets very upset when Chelsea Clinton calls out the corruption within the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Global Initiative and things like that. This is him now accusing. We don't really know, and I wouldn't necessarily trust Doug Band because most of the complaints in these emails were, why is she objecting to our corruption? We want to keep doing what we're doing. So Chelsea Clinton, shut up about it. You're just a spoiled brat. That's his response to Chelsea Clinton raising very legitimate concerns about corruption within the Clinton Foundation. So I will read this whole email. It is exchanged between John Podesta and Doug Band. Doug Band says, I just received a call from a very close friend of William Jefferson Clinton's who said that Chelsea told one of the Bush 43 kids that she is conducting an internal investigation of money within the foundation from Clinton Global Initiative to the foundation. The Bush kid then told someone else who told them that an operative within the Republican Party. I've heard more and more chatter of Chelsea and Barry talking about lots of what's going on internally to people, not smart. And Podesta responds, you are perfecting your skills for understatement about not being smart. Doug Band responds, I learned from the best. The investigation into her getting paid for campaigning using foundation resources for her wedding and life for a decade, taxes on money from her parents. I hope you will speak to her and end this once we go down this road, ... So, what they are saying is that, what really Doug Band is saying is that Chelsea Clinton benefited from the Clinton Foundation. Chelsea Clinton was able to use the foundation for her own personal happiness, her own personal gain, just like I did, so she should stop raising objections. If she did use the Clinton Foundation for her wedding, that's not great, but I would also take what Doug Band is saying with a grain of salt, because his major complaint is that she's even looking into the corruption within the Clinton Foundation. Secondly, what you should take away from this is the buddy-buddiness between the Clintons and the Bushes. I just received a call from a close friend of William Jefferson Clinton's who said that Chelsea told one of the Bush 43 kids that she is conducting an internal investigation of money within the foundation. One, Chelsea, that isn't smart, politically, for your mom. And, secondly, they're all best friends. They're all best friends. It's all establishment. It's all politics. They don't actually, have ideological crater differences where they just can't get along with one another. It's all just, let's play ball. Let's play ball. So, that's another one. Here's something I found very questionable, and this was sent to me by our lovely researcher, Sam. He says So, Thomas Nides of Morgan Stanley emails John Podesta, and he says, it's just questionable, we don't really know what this means. He says, good CNN poll coming. That's it. That's the only thing in the email. And Podesta responds, I'll look forward to how that is spun. So, I don't really know what Podesta means by that, but why does someone at Morgan Stanley have access to CNN's polls? I'm not even coming close to asserting that they're tampering with them, but I am saying, why is this guy at Morgan Stanley, why does he know anything about the CNN polls? I know that I'm sure the Trump people are going to jump on this and say, rigged, the polls are rigged. Polls are scientific, but very interesting. I think at the very minimum, and what I would believe is actually happening, is that the banks, Morgan Stanley, and people in the mainstream media are incredibly friendly with one another. They're buddy-buddy, they're butt-buddies, if you will. And this is just another indication of that. Let me see, do I have any more? As of now, no. So, I did think that the biggest revelation was the Priorities USA direct coordination with, it seems, that Hillary Clinton herself, not just her campaign. So the campaign and priorities coordinating is illegal in itself. The FEC has said that is not allowed. It does not only give off the appearance of corruption, which is outlined in the Citizens United decision. It is corruption, in my opinion. But the way to violate that fine line is to, if a campaign and a super PAC directly coordinate, that violates the First Amendment. It allows for the Supreme Court to infringe on the corporation's First Amendment rights because that gives off corruption or the appearance of corruption. That is the line that has been drawn in the sand by the very corporatist Citizens United decision. So, Hillary Clinton violated that. There's almost no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Will anything come of it? I would bet my fucking life no. I mean, I don't want to say that. I don't want some psycho to come in and kill me. Or maybe I'll just have a heart attack watching this Giants game, and it'll be Zeus smiting me down for making such a proclamation. But I do believe that because this is such business as usual in Washington, because they don't really give a shit about corruption, and they've conveniently forgotten that funneling money from major corporations and from major billionaire donors into into political parties has a corrupting effect, and the mainstream media won't call them out on it. Will anything come of this? Probably not. Probably not. So, hi, that's the update, and I'm hoping that I will be able to give you guys another update tomorrow. I don't know if that's what the bombshell is going to be, but let me actually just check, because WikiLeaks did tweet out some stuff, and I don't want to get off air without telling you about it. Well, they tweeted out the Chelsea Clinton thing, and then they also said, interesting. Colin Powell, I almost forgot to tell you guys this. Colin Powell said to Hillary Clinton in 2009 that there was a real danger that she'd be caught using her off-the-books system with her BlackBerry. He said, as quoted, "However, there is a real danger if it is public that you have a BlackBerry and it is government and you are using it, government or not, to do business, it may become an official record and subject to law. Reading about the president's BlackBerry rules this morning, it sounds like it won't be as useful as it used to be. Be very careful. I got around it all by not saying much and using the systems and not using systems that capture the data." So he did cut some corners. What's actually the point I want to end on is, as much as the email scandal is a sexy topic for the mainstream media, and when Bernie Sanders said, "I'm so sick of talking about her damn emails," I kind of agree, because, I don't even think it's her worst offense. Like, the mainstream media likes to talk about it because they're obsessed with ISIS and scaring people into submission and scaring people into watching their shows. So their ideal topic is that Hillary Clinton may have put us in national security risk by having these emails exposed through her server. And because it's under federal investigation, of course. I don't even see that as her worst offense. She's had a ton. I see the coordination with super PACs as her worst offense. But because we've Washington and the mainstream media have conveniently forgotten that corruption is a thing, and that's the new normal for them, it's not an offense to them at all. But to the rest of us, I think that's the biggest offense, the corruption. So, have a wonderful day, guys. I'm hoping that once I get off this YouTube Live, that the Giants haven't completely shit the bed. We shall see. They have found ways to do it before. And then that means it won't just be the election that I'll be crying about this afternoon. Have a good day, guys.